Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining the Talk Shop Show with Erica Aguilar, the Senior Vice President of Complete CU Services, and myself, Pierre-Jean Galland, the CEO of Complete CU Services. Today, as usual, we have a very, very interesting guest, Matt McGuire from the AML shop, a terrific personality as well as a great professional.
Yeah, they're getting their way. So I just have a question with everything that we have been talking, and for financial institutions that they do have, just like Pierre had mentioned, they have employees that they are a department, AML department. Then you come with your company, and they will do another verification on top of that. When is too much, or is it because if you repeatedly go to the same places, or the employees they are repeatedly knowing the same members in a financial institution? How is that? What are the first things that is going to tell them, hey, there is something wrong here, aside from the amount of money being deposited? There is different patterns. There is someone who just arrived, a new member. When is it usually that they will pay more attention to? Is it when there's a new member coming in, a new account opening, or it's just a combination of everything?
Yeah, fantastic question. It really, when it comes down to what are the when and what do we look for? Well, new members present an opportunity, right? I mean, the difficulty with a new member is that you don't have a historical pattern to look at. And one of our key tools is looking at the variation between what we expect and what's happening. And so, new members can pose that risk. And so there's a little bit more scrutiny paid there at the beginning. When I went to open an account at RBC a number of years back, I remember them saying that, no wires were permitted on new accounts for the first 3 months. Right, as kind of a safeguard. So, it's somebody you don't know, it's somebody new. But that's not, when they conducted analysis of suspicious transaction reports, they found across Canada that there was an average tenure of an account holder of 7 years was the average when they looked at suspicious transaction reports, right? So that's not a new member. And so what do you look for along the way? Well, at the counter, my advice usually is to think about the economics of the transaction. And when I was at FinTrack, that was the key message was, does the transaction make economic sense? If you were to enter into a transaction today, would you conduct it this way? Would you use an intermediate account to receive the funds before you pushed it out somewhere else? Probably not, right? You'd want it quicker, and you'd want it without those fees straight to your account. So that really reveals the pattern of structuring very quickly, right? Would you conduct 6 wires, or would you conduct 1 wire? Would you, and then who's accompanying the person in the branch, right? If there seems like there's always somebody watching over the shoulder, that's a big problem to me. And then the next one is questions. It's an obvious pattern, but it's an important pattern, which is, if somebody's asking you about reporting thresholds, or whether or not something needs to be reported, or whether or not a transaction will compel them to ask for ID, those are really big indicators. And lately, Erica, from the romance scam perspective, I think if you're sending a wire on behalf of an individual client today, that you should be making inquiries to make sure you're protecting that member against the potential that it's not them standing in front of you, and second, that they're being compelled through falsehoods or through coercion to make that payment.
Yeah.